Always Investigating with Audrey and Isaac is your go-to podcast for all things mysterious and fascinating. Join Audrey and Isaac as they dive into the world's most intriguing enigmas, unsolved mysteries, and bizarre phenomena. No stone is left unturned in their quest for answers, bringing you insights, laughter, and maybe even a few chills. Tune in and join the adventure, because mysteries are everywhere, just waiting to be uncovered.
Leprechauns, everybody thinks they know them. Little guys, green suits, always off chasing rainbows, that pot of gold at the end. But I know you love this folklore and mythology stuff, so I'm thinking you're probably like me. There's got to be more to it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that
Yeah.
stereotypical image, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Hmm.
What really gets me is how deeply they're woven into Irish folklore. It's like they're this thread. And if you pull on it, this whole tapestry of ancient stories and beliefs just unravels.
And some of those threads lead to some pretty wild places, to be honest. Like, did you know they might be connected to the Tuatha De Danann?
Right.
Which, for anyone who needs a reminder, these were basically like the OG gods of Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Powerful beings. And you're telling me leprechauns could be descended from them.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it like that.
It is. It adds a whole other layer to things. Speaking of layers, how about that whole image evolution? Like, why'd they go from red to green? You think maybe there was a sale on emerald dye we don't know about?
That's a good one. But honestly, it's a question that takes us straight into Irish history. See, green, it became super tied to Irish identity, especially during the fight for independence. So when you see a leprechaun in that green suit, it's not just clothes, it's a symbol, a really powerful one.
Huh. It's like everything with these guys is more than meets the eye. And you know what else is more than meets the eye?
What's that?
That whole shoemaker to the fairies business. Why shoes? Were the fairies really into footwear back then or something?
Well, there are a couple theories about that. One is actually kind of fun. You see, fairies, they love to dance. Think big parties under the moon, music, energy, the whole shebang.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Exactly. All that dancing. You need good shoes.
So the leprechaun is like the fairy footwear king, except I'm guessing don't be late on your payment or they'll whisk you away to a mushroom circle or something.
Right. But it's more than just practicality, Some folks think the whole shoemaking thing, it's supposed to contrast with the treasure, right? Humble job, massive wealth. Another reminder that you can't judge a book by its cover.
Speaking of treasure, can we talk about that pot of gold? At the end of the rainbow, no less? Be honest, have you ever gone looking for it?
Let's just say I wasn't the only one. But isn't that part of what makes it so appealing, The chase.
It's that whole journey, not the destination thing, huh? Or maybe it's more like luck is fleeting, you can chase it forever, but actually catching it, whole different story.
Nailed it. The gold, the rainbow. It's all about wanting what you can't have. But get this, there's this theory, right, that the whole pot of gold thing, it might be rooted in real history.
Now you're speaking my language. History, A&D, mythology. Tell me more.
Picture this. Viking raiders, right? They're in Ireland, looting and plundering, burying their treasure in these secret spots. Now fast forward a bit. Those stories, they get passed down, they morph, they mix with folklore, and boom, hidden treasure. It's leprechaun legend.
Hold on, so they're not just guarding good luck. We're talking real buried treasure. Actual Viking loot. Man, that changes things. Makes you wonder if those Vikings ever regretted messing with a creature who can, poof, disappear with all their gold.
Speaking of disappearing, we got to talk about the whole trickster thing. Leading you on with promises of riches, then poof, gone, with a chuckle, no less. Classic leprechaun move, right? But I don't think they're trying to be mean, It's more about they're fiercely independent. These are loner types, and their freedom, that's everything. The trickery is like their way of saying, back off, this is my turf.
Which, it makes sense. They're protecting something, right? Gold, their way of life, whatever it is, it's important to them. But here's a thought. Why so solitary? Like, I'm remembering those fairy parties you were talking about. Sounds like a blast. But no leprechauns, huh? They just, sit in their workshops, polishing their shoes, reading a good book by the fire. Maybe they are the introverts of the fairy world.
Okay, I kind of love that image. But you're onto something with the whole introvert thing. They are deeply connected to the land. Some stories even say they're like guardians, each one assigned to a special spot, a sacred grove, a hidden spring, and being solitary. That's part of the job.
So it's not just about being alone. It's about protecting something bigger than themselves, the very heart of Ireland. Man, they really are like walking, talking pieces of the landscape, aren't they? All mysterious and full of secrets.
It's funny, isn't it? They're like the poster children for Irish pride and that independent spirit, but then you see them everywhere. I mean, they're on everything. Souvenirs, keychains. There's even that cereal, right?
Oh, yeah. You can't forget Lucky the Leprechaun.
Exactly. It's like they went from this complex, nuanced figure to, well, a marketing gimmick.
It is interesting how that happens. You take this figure who embodies so much, all that stuff about hard work, that connection to the land, and that independent streak, and somehow it all gets boiled down to a lucky charm. Which, hey, no judgment if you like a little luck in your life. But you're right, there's so much more to them than that. So before we wrap up, I gotta ask, what's the one thing you hope sticks with people after they listen to this? If they only remember one thing about leprechauns, what should it be?
That's a good question. I think it's that they don't fit in a box. You can't just say leprechauns are good or leprechauns are bad. They're both. It's that mix of mischief and magic, like the land itself. Right?
It all comes back to the land, doesn't it? And just like those leprechauns and their shifting colors, maybe we need to be ready to see more than just the surface. Who knows what other mysteries are hiding in plain sight? In the meantime, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Catch you next time.